Chapter 13. The Roadblock That Wasn't. Sometimes the best detours aren't planned. When an organization changes direction, it isn't a verdict on your value. It's an invitation to rise somewhere your leadership is truly needed. For 5 years, I poured my energy into rebuilding Cambrian College. When I arrived, the college was struggling financially. Together with a talented team, we restored its financial health, modernized operations, reduced debt, and positioned the college for long-term success. Those years became some of the most rewarding of my career. The president recognized those achievements by awarding me the maximum performance bonus for 3 consecutive years, a distinction I was deeply proud to receive. I genuinely believed I had found the place where I would finish my career. Then, everything changed. A change of leadership. In Ontario's college system, each college is governed by a board of governors responsible for appointing the president. While the board hires the president has complete authority to choose the members of the executive team. When President Sylvia Bernard completed her term, the board appointed a new president from Alberta. Like every president before him, he had the right to choose his own executive team. 2 weeks after he arrived, he told me he intended to appoint his own vice president of finance and administration. It wasn't personal. It wasn't about my performance. In fact, I just completed the most successful years of my career. It was simply the new president's right to build the executive team he wanted. Now, this is an appropriate time for another Grandpa's signpost. This one reads, "Don't mistake a change in direction for the end of your journey." My time at Cambrian had come to an unexpected end. I packed my office, shook hands with my friends and colleagues, walked out the front door, and drove away. At the time, I believed one chapter had ended. I had no idea that there was another that was about to begin. Looking back, I realized it wasn't a roadblock at all. It was a detour, leading me to one of the most rewarding opportunities of my life. Planning the future. As is common for senior executives, my departure came with a generous severance package. More importantly, it gave me something that I hadn't enjoyed in decades: time. For the first time in 48 years, my calendar was empty. There were no meetings, no deadlines, no budgets, no crisis awaiting outside my office door. Just time to think. Time to ask myself a question I had rarely considered. What do I want to do for the next chapter in my life? After nearly 5 decades building a career, was it finally time to enjoy things that work so often required me to postpone? Or did I still have one more challenge left to pursue? I spent several weeks weighing those questions. In the end, the answer became surprisingly clear. I could have pursued another vice president's position. My success at Cambrian had strengthened my reputation, and I was confident it could lead to another vice president position at a college or university. But I also had just celebrated my 65th birthday. Instead, I chose something different. I chose to leave while I still loved the work. I chose retirement. At the time, I believed I was retiring from my career. Looking back, I realized I was simply making room for work that would prove even more meaningful. Now, for a letter to Marlies. Dear Marlies, life has a funny way of changing our plans. Sometimes, just when you think you've found the road you'll travel forever, life quietly places a detour in front of you. It can feel disappointing, unfair, or even frightening. That's how I felt when my time at Cambrian College had came to an unexpected end. One of the greatest lessons I've learned is this: never let one person's decision determine how you see yourself. People, Organizations and circumstances will change, but your character, your integrity, your kindness are things that no one can ever take away from you. When life surprises you, don't ask, "Why did this happen to me?" Instead ask, "What new opportunity might this be leading toward?" What seemed like an ending became the beginning of one of the happiest chapters of my life. So Marlies, when life changes your plans, and someday it will, I hope you remember this. Hold your head high. Trust yourself. Trust God's timing. And never be afraid of an unexpected road. With love, Grandpa.